You don't need a new life. You need new standards. Hey there, I'm Lisa Renee, and I want to tell you something that's completely changed my life and how I live. First, let me ask you something. What is the real difference between someone living in an extraordinary life and someone just getting by? For a long time, I thought it was talent or maybe luck or just working harder. But what I've learned that the real difference is the thing that actually changes everything is having clear, non-negotiable daily standards. So most people have dreams. I had them too. Oh my gosh, I had so many dreams and goals, and I had them written down. I have written up on a vision board. I would rewrite them. You know, people say if you write all your goals over and over and over, then that's the way to make them happen. But, you know, I've said so many of these things. Nothing's happened. For years, though, I never set standards. It's the daily practice that defines who you are. So once I realized that, and once I started setting these standards, these daily things that were non-negotiable, that must be done every day, this is just me and who I am and what I do, it just kind of helped me break free, as where before I was just stuck. I was getting nowhere. I mean, nowhere. Nothing was moving forward towards my goals. Nothing was helping me become a better person that I always wanted to be, that I always said I would be. But it wasn't until I implemented just a few simple, powerful standards that everything started to shift. My health, my mindset, my relationship, my sense of purpose. And you know where it started? Let me tell you a little secret. You want to know where it started? When I stopped drinking alcohol. So it wasn't because I hit rock bottom, but because I was tired of living in that gray zone. You've heard of that, the gray area drinking. It's just, you tend to have a routine. I call it, I had a routine. You drink daily, but you're not really a drunk, a falling down drunk or anything. It's the place where you're functioning, but never fully thriving. Where, like I did, I said I wanted more, but all my daily choices kept me exactly where I was, and the number one choice was to drink alcohol every single day. So quitting alcohol became the real first line in the sand that I drew for myself. And from there, everything else just started falling in place. I mean, really. So now let me be clear though. I have not arrived where I want to be. I am far from the ultimate outcome that I intend for myself. I'm still growing into my own standards every single day. Some I've mastered. Others, you know, I'm working on it. But the number one thing that I have mastered at this point in my life is to become a non-drinker, because I no longer drink. I don't drink alcohol. It's not part of my life. It's nothing I do. It's a standard. And that is the absolute first one that's going to change your life, especially if you're someone like me who had a severe routine that you just weren't willing to break. So here's the thing that I really had to understand. And I said a little bit about it a couple minutes ago, but there's a huge difference between having goals and setting standards. Goals say someday. Standards say, this is who I am now. When I stopped drinking, I didn't say, I'm cutting back or I'm taking a break. I said, I don't drink. That became my standard. I just made a decision. I am a non-drinker. And it eliminated the debate. Well, should I have one today? Maybe I only have 4. Maybe I only have 2. Maybe I'll have 2 bottles of wine today. You know, the self-bargaining, the constant redeciding. I didn't have to try to be better. I just had to live into the standard that I chose for myself. And you need to really listen careful to this. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our standards. So where are you setting your standard? Is it way down here? Is it something that you don't have to reach for? Is it just, you know, oh, I'm going to have 1 glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine, you know? When my standards were vague or flexible, and I decided that they no longer are, everything starts to align, and it will for you too. So let me walk you through 4 types of standards that I have raised or am working on raising. Oops, sorry. And how I am still growing into each of these standards. So number 1, my health. So this is my priority, and these are the standards I'm setting for my health that are no longer negotiable. I wake up every day and I know I am a non-drinker, so that is my baseline standard. I no longer have to think about it at all. When I stop drinking, you know, you have better sleep, you have better clarity, you have more energy. Granted, it took me a long time because my body was exhausted from drinking so much all the time. But another part of that standard is I had to build up strength. So I started lifting weights. I started spending more time in the outdoors. I no longer eat refined carbs. I stopped food by 4 p.m. Usually it's 4 p.m. Now, sometimes it's hard if we're going to go out to eat or anything like that. So sometimes it's 6. But I never eat past 6 p.m. because I know I sleep so much better without my stomach needing to digest so much food. So I know that my health standard now is that I'm a non-drinker. I exercise daily. I fuel my body correctly, and I don't numb. That's because I'm a non-drinker. I can repeat that. I'm a non-drinker. I'm not perfect every day. I have mastered, like I said, the non-drinker part. But this is my baseline. This is definitely my baseline of things with my health. So standard 2 is my focus. Now, alcohol dulls your brain. I don't care what you say. If you think you can do everything when you're drinking alcohol, you're fooling yourself. You don't do as well. And I didn't even know how much it dulled my brain until I removed it. Now I support my focus by choosing better inputs. I am working towards reading something uplifting and supporting my goals every single day. I haven't mastered that one. I intend on journaling every day before I look at my phone. Haven't nailed that one. I avoid scrolling on my phone in the mornings. Nailed that one. And when I do feel overwhelmed because, you know, life, I just breathe through it and realize, you know, this is something I'm feeling. I don't need to drink through it. I can deal with whatever's happening and whatever's going on and let that alcohol be wherever it was in the past because I'm a non-drinker. Of course, this is still a work in progress, but I feel sharper than I have in years. Okay, standard number 3. My relationships and environment. Now, the environment is really, really important in my life. So once alcohol was gone, I saw all the other things that I was tolerating. the relationship wise, I would tolerate toxic conversations, and I no longer allow that. I no longer tolerate if something comes up, I nip it right away, and if I have to make a statement, I don't want to hear that, or I'm not participating in this. This is not what I need for my life. But the number one thing that is important to me is my environment. And I've allowed the standards there to drop very low. That means how clean my house is, how clean my dogs are, letting the dog hair pile up in my house. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Cluttered environments and dirty environments, it's not as probably bad as I'm making it sound, but I need to take better care of my home like I'm taking better care of myself. I'm a terrible person to dust. I hate dusting. That's my number one thing about household. So when I quit drinking, I started looking around. I was like, what the frick? Look at this dust piled up on my headboard. What is going on? This is just nasty. So that is what I'm working on. And also a messy emotional energy. I really focus on staying away from negative thoughts. If something comes in, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Stop thinking about that. You could change your mind. Literally, you can change your mind. My standard now is if it drains me, it doesn't stay in my life. And that goes for not just for people, habits, but even the physical spaces I occupy. So now, I've got to keep a cleaner car. I do DoorDash, Uber, to make the money that I need to pay what I need to pay. And so I need to clean that up, because once the environment is nice and clean, you actually feel cleaner. You feel better. It makes a huge difference. I'm telling you. So that is a huge work in progress. My standard number 4 is integrity. And this has to be really up there. For me, of course, being a non-drinker, and that is my baseline. But this might be right up there next to it. And it's something that I really, really pay close attention to. For years, I broke promises to myself. If I say, I'm going to take the dogs out in the back property, and, we're going to do that today. Okay. I never actually follow through. Or I'm going to start eating better, but I'll start Monday. Or the drinking thing. I'm just going to have one this evening. Or anything. I'll be better tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it today. Tomorrow. Now, I live by one guided standard. I keep my word to myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And if I don't, I have to refocus and rethink, why am I not doing this? I just said I'm going to do it. Why am I not doing it? So it's something you have to actually pay attention to. Even when no one else is watching, it's just an integrity with yourself. It's a standard you have to create. And that's where confidence comes from. That's how you build real trust in yourself. And that's always been difficult for me. So now I want you to think about it. Think about your life. Pick just one area of your life. Health, your focus, your boundaries, your purpose. I suggest if you're a heavy drinker and if you've come to this channel, this is kind of what we're about, is, living life as an alcohol-free woman over 60. Pick the alcohol area first. If that's a problem for you, pick it first. Make a decision, set your standard, and that's how you live every day. But do ask yourself, what would be the most excellent version of me And what would I do every single day as that person? Then you take that answer and you make it your new standard. Not a wish, not a goal, not a dream, not a tomorrow, or maybe next week. It's a daily practice. Now, I kind of put things in a list. I like lists. So I created a list, kind of like a checklist, to guide you through if you want to set your own standards, and it'll help you maybe define it. So I'm going to put a link to that. Actually, I'm just going to put that in the description right now. And you can go through that list. You can copy it on your own paper or just follow through and write down your answers and look it over and see what area you need to work on. But I promise you, if you get rid of the alcohol first and decide that you are no longer an alcohol consumer and you're alcohol free, a non-drinker, it will make everything else easy to follow. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to rise to that one standard, and everything else will be easier to put in place. I just say, just start. Just start here, stick to it, then become who you were meant to be. And that's how excellence is actually built. I mean, if you're over 60 and you're finally ready to stop settling, get rid of the alcohol, take care of your health, think about your future as a non-drinker, and see where you can go. I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing at the excellent life you can have and can continue creating as a non-drinker. This is the Lisa Renee Project, and I am cut that. This is the Lisa Renee Project, and I'm renovating my life one powerful choice at a time. And your excellence can begin now.